Hello there. In this session, we're going to talk about freedom and what freedom actually is. So many people have a distorted idea of freedom, which actually keeps them from ever really being free. And so most individuals, they think freedom is, I can do what I want whenever I want. And that's a very childish idea of freedom. And a lot of individuals that I talk to or that I've trained throughout the years, they go, man, I just want to make or have enough money, accumulated where I can do anything I want when I want. I can just be on like an endless vacation. And the individuals whom I know who have sold a company, as an example, and came into a big windfall where they can now do whatever they want, whenever they want, literally from a monetary standpoint, often are the people who are in some of the most pain that I've ever met. And it's like counterintuitive because you go, well, why in the world would you create this kind of wealth where you have absolute freedom to literally be able to do what you want whenever you want, and yet you're suffering? And it's just because we have the ability to do what we want when we want doesn't mean that we have the internal capacity to access a feeling and sense of freedom. And so freedom does not start with the outside. It doesn't start with our exterior, the place we live, the people that we're with, the relationships we're in, the job that we have, the amount of money we make, etc. And we often think that a lot of these things, are what present freedom and are going to make us feel better, which is why we strive for them. But it doesn't necessarily translate to freedom. Freedom is an inner experience of oneself. Freedom begins as an inner state. And so if we really look at people who feel free, and I've met some of the most free people, actually in prison because they had their freedoms taken away, like literally taken away. And so they were put to be in prison for decades. And it was in prison they started doing things like inner training and meditation, and they read books on mindfulness, and they started learning how to manage themselves. And so some of the most free people that I've met, one of the most free individuals I know, is actually imprisoned quite literally for many, many more years. And his mother actually thanked me for the level of freedom that he knows because, I guess he read my book and did a lot of the trainings from the book, The Inner Matrix, because he didn't have a whole lot to do. And he actually created a pretty awesome inner sense of well-being for himself. And so it's like, why not have both? Like, let's create the awesome inner sense of well-being for ourselves and afford ourselves the opportunity to do the things we want to do in the world, spend the time with the people we want to spend it with, go ahead and go on vacations and trips, and have the best of both worlds. And so how do we start creating freedom without needing to make any more money or having to be in the right relationship or the right job or any of those things? Is we got to start paying attention to how we relate to our reality. People who are free look at their reality and they see all of the possibilities that are in front of them. They acknowledge all the things they can do. They notice all of the ways in which they can execute. And so it's like from an inner sense of being, it's, hey, I have the freedom to decide how I'm going to feel today. And they exercise that freedom and they go, man, I'm going to be happy today because I choose to. And I'm going to focus on the things in which I'm grateful for, which are going to expand my level of happiness, therefore the level of freedom in which I experience. People who are imprisoned inside, they focus on all the things they don't have. They focus on how frustrated they are, how their expectations aren't getting met, how life is unfair. They blame other people, and this diminishes and takes away their sense of inner freedom, their sense of happiness. Because if you essentially are happy resilient, meaning you have a high resiliency and capacity to maintain your level of happiness and joy no matter what's going on in your life, then you're truly free. Like if life can happen, circumstances can change, things cannot go your way at times, or even a majority of the time, and you can still be in a sense fulfilled and happy and joyful within yourself, and you can bring that to the people that you love and you care about and the life you're living, then you are truly free. Because now the world is no longer defining who you are and where you're at. And so that starts with the inner game. That starts with mastering your inner reality, inner training, mastering your emotions and the mind is where freedom really begins. And so freedom is not the byproduct of external mechanics, meaning the amount of money you make, the job you have, the ability to do whatever you want when you want. Like this is actually very childish. If you think about a 5-year-old doing whatever they want when they want, you just think of a spoiled brat, right? And so an adult person, if they're 50 or 60 and they just have the means to do whatever they want when they want, and they basically are living that way, they basically become an older spoiled brat. Like they're actually in as much discord and discontent as a 5-year-old would be trying to learn the way of the world, trying to understand themselves, trying to manage, their reality. And they're happy and they're sad and they're throwing themselves on the floor one minute and they're in a big fit and they're laughing the next. And that's not freedom. That's ultimate imprisonment, because you're imprisoned by your own emotions and feelings. And so freedom starts with being able to manage, not escape your own emotions and feelings, but be able to manage your emotions and feelings in a high accord so that you are in the experience of life that you want to be in based on your intention to do so. And if you're willing to train that, that's a capacity in which you can develop. And so the first steps to really creating a foundation of freedom is start waking up and acknowledging each day, number one, what you're grateful for. Grateful as an acknowledgement is a huge bridge to freedom. Because it's very hard to be in a space of discontent or angry or cynical or sad or, in a space of guilt and shame if you're looking at and you're in the active appreciation of everything that's in your life. And no matter what you have or don't have, we can be in the active appreciation of our life. We can go, man, I'm so grateful I have food on the table. I'm so grateful I have people who love me. I'm so grateful that I'm alive and that I have the opportunity to leverage this day to become who I want. I'm so grateful for the job I have, for the money I make, for the place I live, for the safety I know. I mean, we could just go on and on with that which we could acknowledge from a grateful sense. The most grateful people tend to be the most free individuals. The most grateful humans tend to be the most free humans. They tend to go together. And then the other space of freedom is, what's the opportunity that's before me? If you start waking up and acknowledging the opportunities that are in front of you, the possibilities that are there, this is going to lead you to freedom. Because if you look at somebody who knows a lot of freedom in their life and actually creates a lot of freedom in all the ways, they always see opportunity before them. And the ones who create great success, as an example, whether that's great success in a business or great success in a career or great success in a relationship, great success with their body, great success with their health, like the way in which they create that success is they typically look at where they're currently at and they go, man, where are my opportunities to improve? Where are all of my opportunities to enhance the condition of my life? And that becomes the way in which they're relating to their reality. They go, where's my possibility here? Oh, I have this possibility and that opportunity and this possibility and that opportunity. Where are my possibilities? Where are my opportunities to go where I wish to go, to become who I wish to become? Because if you look for the opportunity and the possibility, you're going to see them. If you're looking for the opportunity and the possibility, you're going to see them. If you're looking for basically, all of the ways it didn't go your way, you're going to feel that, right? If you're looking at, all the roadblocks that are in your path and all the aspects of life that aren't the way you want them to be, and you're relating to reality in that way, we're just going to see more of that stuff. You're going to see more and more of how life's not working. And so take these two things on. Start to look at your day as you go through your day and go, where's my possibility and opportunity here? They're going to be there. And the more you look for them, the more you're going to see them. The more you see them, the more you can leverage them, the more free you're going to feel and be in the experience of that freedom. And then second, man, what am I grateful for? And acknowledge all the little gratitudes, the little appreciations about your day, about your life, and you're going to see that that's going to lead to a greater sense of appreciation, a greater sense of fulfillment, which then fuels and feeds seeing the potential and the possibilities, right? The opportunities that are before you. And these two things start to fuel each other. Before you know it, you're going to feel and be in the experience of a greater sense of freedom than you've ever known before. And that will actually lead to you probably creating additional external freedoms inside of, creating more time for yourself and increased, finances and expanding your career and doing all those things if that's something that's important to you. And so play with this, and we look forward to seeing you next time.